And good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us for On the Coast on CBC Radio One. I'm Gloria Makarenko, sitting in for Stephen Quinn. Well, an Abbotsford man is converting farm waste into energy, and he thinks it might actually change the world. Chris Bush calls the product poop soup. It's mainly cow and chicken waste. Chris processes the agricultural waste in a facility, and now his work is being recognized in a big way. Chris is a finalist for Singularity University's Global Grand Challenge Award. This award recognizes major breakthroughs in technology that can solve some of humanity's biggest problems. But before he heads to San Francisco to find out if he's the winner, he's here with us now in studio. Chris, thanks so much for coming in.
Happy to be here.
This must be an exciting time for you. Let's start with an explanation for what is poop soup.
Sure. So we started our work more than 10 years ago in Abbotsford with a company called Catalyst Power. We built the first anaerobic digester for agriculture. So with that facility, we process the manure from about 800 cows and 100,000 chickens, and a lot of the food processing waste as well. We scrub the gas, the methane that's produced, put it in the utility grid with Fortis, and delivered it to about 1,000 different homes around British Columbia, homes and businesses.
In what way? What kind of energy are we talking about?
It's renewable natural gas. So anyone that can have the choice to have a portion of their gas supply from renewable sources. There's now 2 farms producing. The other one's Seabreeze Farm in Delta, doing a very, very good job out there.
Natural gas. Does it have an odor?
It's the same as pipeline natural gas. We clean it. We take the gas that's produced and we clean it with a water wash solution and get it to pipeline quality. It is exactly the same as any other gas, but it's not new CO2.
Okay, I mean, it's fantastic what you're explaining here. We know that agricultural waste is a big problem, not only here in Canada, around the world, whether it's the cows producing the methane or the rotting food emitting fossil fuels. It's a big carbon footprint overall. So how do you see your technology addressing this problem in a bigger scope?
Yeah, sure. So I say all the time, there's no such thing as waste, only sometimes a resource at a time and a place without a technology. And we use a bundle of solutions. We start with anaerobic digestion as our anchor, and we finish with we grow a tiny aquatic grass in a biorefinery that takes the nutrients out of the water, eats the CO2 that we feed into the chamber, produces a new food and feed product that we can feed to animals, or people cleans the water. It's literally zero waste agriculture. We call our program Technology Meets Permaculture, and it's how we will feed 9 billion and maintain a planet.
When? I mean, how far are we away from that perfect scenario,
Sure, yeah.
Zero waste?
Well, we're 10 years into our 5-year plan now, and finally we have an opportunity to be an overnight success. The X Prize Foundation is behind Singularity University. They do global grand challenges, and all of the future challenges will be focused on the future of food. We have to get a grip on how we do food. The systems today are fabulously wasteful, and they don't need to be.
So what's the biggest barrier to getting us to that scenario that you describe?
Abundance, I would say, in some ways. We're so used to just having so much that we can waste, not realizing that we in the developed world have it so very good. More than 1/3 of all calories produced on this planet today are wasted in one way or another. And that's just the food side of it, not the things ahead of it.
So do you consider yourself a farmer first or a scientist first?
My background was in telecom. 2006, I was looking for a business idea. It was Popular Science Magazine, a little tiny sidebar story that started. I did a TED Talk earlier this year called Poop Soup and the Inevitable Global Movement, where you can see 10 years of my life in about just under 12 minutes. But yeah, I'm a business person, and when I look to the future, the only thing I could see absolutely for certain is that as long as there are living creatures on this planet, we have to have food and water, and if we're living well, we need to have energy. So we focused on resource efficiency at the food, energy, water nexus, and technologies, ideas that have been around. Digestion is the beginning of time. It's a natural process. It's been done at industrial scale since World War II in Germany. It's nothing new. It's just making it better.
Well, it's kind of neat that all of this is happening right in our own backyard. And I know that you have been campaigning pretty hard to have a bioenergy research center here in the Lower Mainland. I mean, where is that project? Is that idea being met with with interest.
Yeah, you know, I've been saying for a couple of months, this is BC's moonshot moment, where we can really do something amazing. We have a distinct lack of resources or facilities to do this sort of work. Right, we right now have 5 amazing systems-thinking human beings in 5 different key ministries within the province of British Columbia. That's somewhat miraculous to have that lineup. The federal government earlier this year just recently announced a plan for building an inclusive and innovative Canada that includes building superclusters. So this is our chance. That the Canadian Gas Association wants to have a 5% renewable blend in the pipeline. British Columbia is part of the Pacific Coast Collaborative. We can link up with the four very large and very active American states that can work together on this. We have to feed the future. We have to do a better job with environmental impacts of agriculture. All of these things are lined up. If we can find bold leadership in the province, the federal government signal they are ready to support it.
Okay. Are you finding that bold leadership?
I think so.
Okay.
I am cautiously optimistic.
Well, we talked about in the introduction to this conversation about you are right up there in terms of getting the eyes of the world on this project. So this Singular Universities Global Summit, this is in Silicon Valley. Some of the brightest minds in the world are going to be there. You are also a finalist for the Global Grand Challenges Award. How are you feeling about all of this?
It's a little overwhelming. Doing the TED Talk, it was a high watermark. I think there's 20,000 TED Talks in the world. I think there's less than 60 finalists for this award. So that's and they scoured the planet looking for people. There's 12 tracks. We're on the environmental track, which is good and right, I suppose. But we could have been on the food track, or on the education track, or on a number of them. 6 of the 12 we hit directly. So it's exciting. I have 5 minutes, and there's a very good chance. Professor Peter Diamandis, who started the X Prize Foundation, Elon Musk hangs out with him. Branson hangs out with him. Ray Kurzweil, like some of the big brains and the makers, the doers of the world today are likely in that room.
Well, it sounds like you know your stuff. It sounds like you know your poop.
It's never been so sexy.
It's so great to talk with you, Chris. All the best. Can't wait to hear what happens.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks so much for coming in. That's Chris Bush, the president of Catalyst Agri-Innovations Society. He is a finalist for Singularity University's Global Grand Challenge Award in San Francisco.